Hey YouTubers, hopefully you liked that new intro. I've been working on trying to get some music that's not gonna get copyrighted. So that's what that was. I just came up with that on like a soundboard. But anyway, episode 22. So I was shopping for a drive shaft for Ron Burgundy, and with the length that I needed and the RPM that it's going to see, I decided to go with a 3.5 inch aluminum one because it has a little bit higher safety rating with critical speed, or critical, what do they call it? Yeah, critical speed, the RPM. So I looked around online and I found Action Machine out in Indiana, and they whipped up the drive shaft for me. If you got some time to wait, it was very reasonable cost. I did ship them my slip yoke, my Sonax slip yoke here. It's a 1350 joint, 27 spline slip yoke, and I have 2.5 inches of engagement on the splines. My drive shaft ended up being 51 5/8 long. But it's perfect. I think I might have to notch the floor brace here because I got maybe 3/4 or maybe an inch of clearance up there before it would hit. But I also would be limited here. If you guys can see that, I showed you in another video. This diff will hit this bar, so you know, in an inch from compression, which is where my shocks are also going to be bump stop. So everything's really going to have the up travel the same, the drive shaft, the axle housing, and the shocks. So that kind of works out nice. So let's see, what else have I got? I'm gonna have to lower the car down, show you that we swapped out the fuel cells, or the fuel cell I mean. That 5.3's in there. Oh, you know what? I should show you the trans really quick. It's I bought this trans used. It's got a Dead and Bear case, SFI case, the JW Bell, the deep pan, you know, has a valve body, trans brake, dump valve, stock tail housing, but it's all built. It came out of a car that was making like 1,400 horse, so I didn't even bother to crack it open, which isn't really my style, but I figured it came from a pretty reliable source, and I had some mutual friends with the guy, so I'm gonna put it in, and we're just gonna run it, and if I have any problems, then I'll deal with it, but I think it's gonna be good to go. That 5.3's in there, nice and tight. Look at that clearance on the rack. There's like a 1/16 there, which means I don't think I can run an engine diaper. I'll have to make a pan for it, but it's alright. Alright, let's lower this thing down. Oh, there's something else coming into frame here that you guys haven't seen yet. What is that big hole for? Whew. I know this is nice, and we're going to get to this, I promise. I want to show you the fuel cell. I got rid of the 15-gallon one that was in here at Monster, that big, it was a black one. I put it in another episode. Looks like Damon's leaving me some presents here. Okay, so I went with a 5-gallon, it's an RCI tank. And the reason I did that was not just to save some weight, because obviously I'd have to run probably 10 gallons of fuel in a 15-gallon tank to be like, I'd feel okay about it going on the track with it sloshing or whatever. And I was also going to have to cut that tank apart to do some baffling and stuff inside for the drop-in Holley pump sending unit, the pump module. So I saved some weight. Now I don't have to baffle the tank. So I have a 5-gallon tank now. There's no baffling inside, there's no foam, and I dropped in the Holley fuel pump module that has dual 450 pumps on it. It's at the right depth, everything's perfect. I can run, you know, 3 or 4 gallons in it. I don't have to worry about it sloshing around or uncovering the pickups on the pumps, and we're good to go. And it's, you know, probably saved me like 35 pounds going down the track, so that's cool. I haven't mounted it yet because I don't really know where it's going to go. I'm going to wait probably till I scale the car, because I'm going to have the battery back here and the fuel cell and you know, the shut-off, push-pull shut-off for the battery, and maybe a couple other things back here. So there's a quick little update on that. And here I did the shoulder straps on both sides, just to, you know, spruce it up a little bit. You know, guys, every once in a while it's nice to do a little finishing touch on something, just to kind of keep the momentum going. And you know, I can sit in the car now and pull those over my shoulders. Anyway, so those are in. I can't do the side belts yet, or the center one, that crotch one. I don't know what the heck it's called, the 5th point. I haven't done that yet because I need hardware. Alright, moving up front here under the hood, or what's going to be under the hood. I spent some time the other day and I was able to tack the hot side all together, and I'm pretty damn pleased with how it came out. I think it looks like it's going to work really good. I got plenty of clearance on everything. The radiator sits in here nice. I think everything looks like it's going to flow really nice. These are some vibrant 3-inch to 2.5-inch transitions, and these are 2.5-inch V-bands. And then right here I have a vibrant slip joint, another one right here, so that I can undo the V-bands, and then these pieces are separate as well, and also allows for some expansion and vibration, whatever, you know, there's a little movement there, so I don't get any cracks. And then this is a vibrant 2-into-1 collector. It does pinch down right here to 2.5, which will probably hurt me eventually. I think I'm a long way from that with this setup, but we'll find out. And here I have the wastegate tacked on there. That is just a VS Racing 50mm CO2 rated that I have disassembled and you know, put Loctite on all the set screws inside and lubricated the valve and made sure it's all smooth operation and everything. I think it's going to work fine. So that's got its home. I'm going to probably do, I'm waiting on a 2-inch piece of stainless to do the dump tube, and I think I'm just going to go straight down, probably dump it like, I don't know, somewhere around the bottom of the frame height. And let's see, I got the downpipe is done. This is 11 gauge 5-inch aluminum. I was able to incorporate one of my well, they're not mine, I just buy these all the time, but it's just like a roll bar clamp. I mean, you can use them for anything, but that's kind of a nice little hanger, I thought. Really solid mounted. I got one on the coil packs here too, you can see. My tag. And this is a stainless 5-inch trim ring that I've had a bunch of them for a while. Got that on eBay like years ago. Just had like maybe had like 4 or 5 of them kicking around, so I threw one of those on there. These are the Flowtech 1 7/8 headers that I shortened. I cut the V-bands. I think the V-bands were like out here, so I cut them back as far as I could and slipped those 3-inch elbows in there. That one I've already welded all the way. So that gave me tightened everything up a little bit. You can see I kind of have a little bit of a backward slant before they merge, just because of the radius of this 90. I wish it was a little tighter and maybe straight with the radiator support or the engine, but I mean, it's not a big deal, just aesthetics. I also got my EV6 flow matched Bosch 210s in there on the ProFlow, and I needed 60 millimeter spacers. I could have gotten the EV1 LS1 length injectors and they would have gone right in there, I think. But I came up on these on a good deal, so I bought them. And I just bought the hats on Amazon. Little billet aluminum hats. And the only other things I have is that I put on are the dipstick for the trans, just a Summit Racing branded. It's kind of like similar to a low car. I got one on the engine oil too. I gotta bolt it down. But those are nice, fairly inexpensive. And then I put the B&M line lock on the firewall. Still have yet to plumb any of my brake line stuff. I think that's about it, you guys. Oh, push rods. I do have push rods down. I was going to show you those. I finally got my push rods. So right here, here's my push rods. I wanted to show you guys the difference too on, this is 16 gauge aluminum. This is 11. You can tell roughly, it's not quite twice as thick, but you know, one is like an 1/8 inch and one is probably, I don't know. Actually, no, I know 16 gauge is a 1/16. And 11 gauge, I think it's like, I think it's 100 wall, so it's a little under an 1/8. Anyway, you have to do that on the downpipe for the first couple feet on the downpipe, because aluminum will wear away from the heat. Like, you'll just eventually blow through the first elbow or bend in it if it's pretty close to the turbine. So that's 11 gauge on the car. This is what I use for most of the hot side piping. I bought 4 of these and I only used 2. But this one, like this U-bend right here, is one of these that I literally didn't even cut a millimeter off of it. It's in there just like this. It slips inside all the way to here, where that Y pipe is expanded, just like that. And then I knocked a 90 out of one of them, used a straight, couple spots. So those are awesome to have. And then these are just stainless pie cuts, 7.5 degrees on each side, so it gives you 15 total. And you can just stack them and make a bend with them. They're made out of a straight piece of 2.5. And you can see I used 2 here and 2 here to get everything angled and pointed the right way, so that all my seams are just fusion welded. There's no gap anywhere. I used to cut these myself, but now I just buy them. It's a little more, it's kind of expensive to buy them, but it saves me so much freaking time with the bandsaw, and I'm not changing blades out. And these are just they're like really precision cut. They're perfect, so it's worth it to me to be able to buy, you know, whatever, 20 of them for $150, and then I can fabricate something in 30 minutes. Rather than cutting these for 2 freaking days and having to deburr them. just so much, so time consuming doing that. It's just worth the extra amount to me. Anyway, here is my push rods. So I got the Comp adjustable push rods, XDA GMLS, and for the particular length that I needed, they make a few different options. I think there's 3 or 4 different kits for different length ranges. Most of mine needed to be around 7.600. So I got this kit that's good for from 7.530 to 7.762. And all this is these numbers here are my 0 lash lengths, and then these numbers are if I add from 25 to 35 thousandths to this number, it gives me my range for the Johnson short travel lifters. And then I was able to compute, you know, how much shim I would need, and then break that down into what shims Comp offered, and I was able to get all of them within where they needed to be. So I have these little shims now. This is just one kit. These are 0.60 thick. Those are 112 thickness, 0.64, and then another 0.64. That was a popular one, so I needed those because I have to double those. I need 128 on, let's see, on 11 push rods. I need 128 of worth of spacers, so that's why I got 2 bags of those. But these are cool. I'll show you here. So you have the bottom. This goes in the bottom. It's a 5/16 ball tip with the oil hole still, but this case part of it is 7/16 diameter, and it slides over this 5/16 push rod, and you put it's got a little O-ring on there. Let me see if I can show you that. Let focus. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So I put my shims down in here, and the shims have an oil hole in them. So I just stack them in there, and then I push this inside. Oops! Oh, now I got stickers all over the place. I push this inside, and then when I have my shims in there, I have the exact length push rod that I need to set the preload on those lifters, and we're golden. So it is the expensive way probably to do this, unless you were going to run like, I don't know, what's a crazy push rod company? I don't know, there's a couple of them, but I mean, you can spend $700 on a set of push rods. These were like, I think they were 200 something, and then the shims were $20 a kit, but I have infinite adjustability with that now, so that I'll be able to have those for a long time. And I hope to use those lifters that I put in, you know, on multiple engines too, if something happens to this one, which I'm sure will. We'll be cranking the boost to her. So, and the RPM. I'm going to put those in, tighten them rockers down, and I'm just waiting on, I ordered a set of those black BTR valve covers they're just back ordered, so once I get those, the engine will be all sealed up and done. I think that's it, you guys, for this episode. So we're gonna sign off, Burgundy and I'm gonna shut the lights off in here. I gotta go do some tuning on a turbo truck. So I'll see you guys in episode 23. Thanks for watching.